Hi, welcome back to Community Hotline. I'm Monica Weitzel, and now for our final segment tonight, we're going to be talking with Quincy Davis. He's a hip-hop recording artist here in the area, and he is going to talk to us about the Oregon Universal Zulu Nation. Thanks for being here, Quincy.
Thank you very much for having me.
So you're going to tell me about this because there's a lot I want to know, and then also about Creative Summers, which are some workshops or camps that you have going on this summer, correct?
Yes, it's a youth summer camp taking place July 21st through the 26th.
Cool. Okay. Now, before we get to that, tell me first about the Oregon Universal Zulu Nation. Tell me what that is and what your mission is.
Yeah, so Oregon Universal is a chapter of the Zulu Nation. The Universal Zulu Nation was started in 1973 by a pioneer of hip-hop culture named Africa Bambaataa, and this was in the South Bronx where this started. And basically, he came from, from the streets in a place where there was a lot of crime, a lot of extreme poverty, extreme, drugs. It was like a war zone situation in the South Bronx.
We have nothing actually that bad here,
Right.
But
yeah, it was as bad as third world countries they talk about. Like it really looked like a war zone. So Africa Bambaataa was a man who basically started to organize rather than putting energy towards gangs, he started to organize block parties. And that was not something, that wasn't like a romantic thing to do.
That wasn't done, was it?
What's that?
It wasn't done back then. I mean, who did that, That was a new
Right, exactly.
New idea.
It's not like, the city's going to do that or take on that responsibility. And that's another part of it is the music actually got taken out of the schools a few years before hip-hop culture started to flourish. So that tells you that, the creative drive, the drive for creativity is something that's inside, all human beings. And so this is the environment where hip-hop came from. And Africa Bambaataa is the man who organized and created the Universal Zulu Nation, which brought the elements of hip-hop together. The first four elements being breakdance, graffiti or street art, MCing, and then DJing. So these are the four elements, and then the fifth element is the most important, and that's knowledge, and that's what brings it all together.
And so when you talk about knowledge, what do you mean by that? So
knowledge, it could be history of where especially African Americans come from, and the whole history before slavery, which was pretty much left out of the school system.
Yeah.
So knowing about, ancient Kemet and just the ancient times of Egypt and where mathematics and science and astrology and all these ancient teachings come from in history, knowing that it's a part of, all human beings before certain powers that be rewrote history and, basically programmed people through the education system. So this is the real knowledge.
And so how do they go about doing that? What is the method of imparting that knowledge?
Well, usually it's through, teaching one-on-one. It can be through that. It can be through music. I mean, I didn't experience that back in 1973. So
really? What a surprise! Yeah,
a little before my time.
Yeah.
So I don't really have experience about how that happened exactly, but I can talk more about how that's done now.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. How do you do that now, and how do you do that here in Oregon?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's one of our missions with this summer camp and with Oregon Universal Zulu Nation. I think it's done from the ground up. I think it's done from community activity. I think it's done from gathering together. For example, with youth, I think connecting with the youth is very important. And for example, gathering to watch a documentary and then talk about it. Something that, is a subject that schools wouldn't want to touch.
Right.
That's one example. There's I make documentaries, so that's... So
you can share those, and then are there ones, I assume, that probably bring up issues that people can talk about that'll really bring up questions, and you can explore them and educate them that way?
Yeah, exactly. A lot of my work is about like revealing what's in the shadows of our society and stuff that people don't want to talk about. And then, another one is through music. One of my biggest influences was an artist named Immortal Technique. and he basically taught me a whole history through his lyrics.
Really?
Yeah, and it, you know, he talks about a lot of things, but he opened up my mind big time.
So tell me about these camps then. The camps are a way to impart this knowledge and to get to the youth, correct? I mean, to actually reach them.
Yes.
So who can come to these camps?
Any youngster who's 7 to 18 years old.
And where will they be held?
Salmon Street Studios, which
Okay.
is where Oregon Universal Zulu Nation is headquartered. And that's 109 Southeast Salmon Street in
Okay.
Portland.
So I think we have a video of is it about the camp? Can you set that up for me? Is that what we're going to be seeing?
Yeah, this is a promotion for the camp,
Okay.
which is coming up here in July. And it's the footage is footage that I documented from past First Friday events that Oregon Universal Zulu Nation held. And those were all free community gatherings.
Okay, well, let's take a look at it.
All right.
For you. This is something special for you.
We go a little something like this.
Heal up, bring it back, come rewind. 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 Heal up, bring it back, come rewind.
We go a little something like this. We go a little something like this. We go a little something like this. We go a little something like this.
This is something special for you.
We go a little something like this.
That's a great promo. I can't think of any kids not wanting to go to that. That looks really fun.
Thank you.
So when the kids attend this camp, what all can they expect? I mean, they're there from like what hour to, from when to when?
10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Okay.
each day.
So-
And then last day will be a showcase, community showcase, with all the parents and all the community.
Oh, fun. Oh, fun.
Yeah,
Oh, that
so-
sounds great. So, so when the kids come, are they divided by their ages or are they all together? How do you do that?
So our idea at this point is the first 2 days are sort of an immersion into hip hop culture in all the elements. So the youngsters can experience all the elements and connect with different artists who will come here and perform and present.
Like some of the artists that were shown on the promo,
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
So they'll really get a sense of which element they're really drawn towards. And then by the third day, they will go into the intensives of learning, for example, emceeing. So I'm teaching emceeing.
Yeah.
So we'll go into an intensive teaching workshop, you know, involving activities and all this in the MC section. And each youngster can choose what they're passionate about for those intensives. And that'll be 3 days, and then the last day is the showcase.
Great. And
Yeah.
everybody can come to that. So the kids will actually be able to show off some of the stuff they learned.
Absolutely.
And if I understand correctly, then your focus though is it's safe, it's positive, because some, you know, there's always people that are going to say, well, hip hop has this bad influence. I don't want my kids listening to that. But you're going a whole different way from that, right?
Right.
So what are the important things that you think parents who might have a concern about that should know about,
Yes.
about this?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you for bringing that up. So, one thing that Oregon Universal, Zulu Nation, All Zulu Nation, and Africa Bambaataa, and those who were the pioneers of hip hop, who created something that actually the foundation of it was a positive thing. And then this thing called the entertainment industry took it over and commercialized it and changed it into what we call rap, which can also be called recording artists pretending.
I love that.
So we got to, it's important to understand that everything on media is basically rap, and is basically not what hip hop really came from. And it's something that, you know, you have to experience, I would say, you know, and it has to do with community coming together, and it's an experience. And all that media does is not hip hop.
So it's almost a mindset, isn't it? That the hip hop mindset is a positive, community oriented, not what most people think of.
Absolutely, absolutely empowering from the inside out. You know, I feel like it has to do with becoming your own authority. You know, not submitting to the system or
maybe questioning the things that are told to you, because not everything can be taken at face value. It's like talking about history, because as you mentioned, a lot of things are left out of history, a lot of things we don't know. So maybe question it and dig deeper. And
definitely.
Yeah.
And also, I feel like you asked about knowledge, and this came to me that I feel like we are not so much looking to give them knowledge as if they're like a blank slate and give me knowledge. It's more about awakening what's already inside of them.
So they can have a quest for the knowledge. They have a thirst for it and want to find out for themselves.
Yeah, and they have a gift that they came into the world with, like all human beings do. We're all here for a reason. So these young people, we want to do what we can to help spark that inspiration to what they feel passionate about, and awaken that, and walk the path and live their life.
I like that, Quincy. I like that. So what are your goals for this whole camp and for the Zulu Nation going forward? I mean, do you see yourself being a part of this for a long time to come? Is this your passion?
Well, yeah, the nature of what it is about is definitely my passion, which is community coming together, building, inspiring. Sharing our gifts, and in doing so, awakening others to find their gifts and walk their path. So that's a big part of what I feel like I'm here to do.
And help others find what they feel they're put here to do.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. We're almost out of time, so what else do we need to know before I let you go?
Yeah. Well, so this summer camp is 6 days long, like I say, July 21st through 26th. And our mission after the camp is to keep the energy going and offer free community gatherings and educational activities and opportunities for the youth here in Portland. So we definitely want this first summer camp to be like, a spark, or like initiate something that is ongoing with the community.
Well, and if it's successful and people hear about it, I think probably other artists are going to want to be part of it and share their talents and strengths too. So, are you still in need of any other people to help, volunteers, anything like that?
We are still open to volunteers at this point.
Okay.
And you can go to creativesummerspdx.com. There's a volunteer section there.
Right. Okay. Great. Thank you so much, Quincy. I'm so glad you came today.
Thank you.
You bet. And thanks for watching Community Hotline tonight. As you can see, there's a lot going on in this community, a lot of it about music, but there's a whole array of things to do. So be sure to go and check out the website. Check out creativesummers.org, correct? .com. Thank you. And find out about this. If your child has an urge to do something like this, I think it would be a great place to send them. And even if they don't, let them see that promo, and I bet they'd be interested. So thanks for watching. We'll be back here next week. I'm Monica Weitzel. Thanks for watching Community Hotline.